Welcome to this week's Cattle Call. I'm Susan Littlefield. A lot of fun things looking at the market. Actually going to hit on some real positives happening within the trade, including kill levels, box beef prices, and then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about still comparing year-ago level numbers, which are kind of off, as we all know, because of COVID last year, and all the DOJ talk we've heard in this last week. As you can see, Brad Kooima joins us. He is with Kooima, and Varlick out of Sioux Center, Iowa. So let's start out with good news. Let's talk those kill levels.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Feel like I'd much prefer to be a glass half full person, as you know, Susan. And I've been troubled here the last several weeks where we have not really, I think, kill. The phrase would be killing the available supply. Every employer is fighting absenteeism, but particularly it seems like the cattle packer is. I don't know why his plight is worse than the hog or chicken commercial slaughtering facilities, but whatever. You've had the series of cooler cleanouts, the fixing the ammonia situation with Cargill, computer glitches, you name it. It seems like we've had all sorts of reasons lately. So I was really, really pleased here at 1 o'clock when the slaughter came out. At least the projection is that the slaughter this week is going to be 669, including a big Saturday slaughter. 660 is kind of the number a lot of us number nerds kind of feel like we should be killing. The idea of high-priced corn is that high-priced cost of gain forces or impels, encourages, whatever the word is, us to sell cattle quicker, right? Because it costs so much to feed them, particularly when the market's $1.20 and that finished ration is well north of $1.20. But right, the last few weeks we haven't made really any progress in terms of taking any weight off. In fact, the data. So this data is 13 days old, which is irritating. We pushed a deal through the NCBA that we were supposed to get next day weights. I haven't seen anything on that yet. Yesterday's weights, 870 steer and heifer carcass versus 867 a week ago. Actually lost 3 pounds. We gained 3 pounds. A year ago it was 872, but be careful about comparisons to a year ago. Obviously, we all are glad we aren't where we were a year ago with all the COVID situations. So, yeah, a nice kill this week, a step in the right direction. I hope we can do that for several weeks in a row to get some weight off the cattle.
Well, a week of some higher box beef prices that everybody's been talking about.
And it's a good segue there because, I've been hearing that, the boxes are really toppy. I've heard that for about the last $35 that we've gone higher. Some of the reason the box beef price is as good as it is, Susan, is because of the light kill. So it's a little bit of a darned if you do, darned if you don't deal. I would expect if we'd put a couple of weeks of this kind of kill into the pipeline that the boxes will slow down. I say that without really having any worry whatsoever that that's got anything to do with what the cattle producer is going to get for his cattle anyway. The margins are ridiculous. $1,000 a head, and they can't figure out a way to get people to come to work, huh? It's too bad. I'm sure they're running on a tight budget. I don't know why paying a little more wouldn't seem to be, they got to own up to part of the solution to this problem of getting this stuff going. I got a couple of ideas. Let's remove the protocol that we did when we started COVID. Get them standing shoulder to shoulder again. Speed that chain back up to where it was. Let's have the individual governors. Some states have, Iowa's have said, no, we're not going to take this last round of a handout, not unemployment stuff. Let's come on. I am growingly impatient with. We don't dare to try something. We're happy with the way it is. Give me a break. Sorry, got off on a little bit of a rant.
That's okay. We're going to get you on another rant. DOJ, that has been the talk all this week as different cattle groups, different organizations have talked about this request. We've even got those in Washington talking about it. So what does this mean, and does it really mean anything at this point for the markets?
I even saw something, that came out of the Biden administration, specifically on Bloomberg yesterday, about, they're thinking they better look into something too. So yeah, Iowa cattlemen and a few others, but sent another letter to the DOJ. You notice that there was a pretty good network of these upper Midwest senators and representatives that also signed a letter asking for the Department of Justice to look into packer activity again. Yeah, I'm glad we send the letter. Don't misunderstand me. These organizations, I think, actually do are trying to do something to raise awareness, effect change. Um, but if you're like me, most of us are going like, we wrote a lot of letters. They couldn't figure out that there was something goofy after the Holcomb fire. There's a fairly there's a fairly high level of no confidence in the potential of them actually finding something that they can really charge them for. So anyway, I think it's all right. I think it's all right to have increased awareness. Personally, what I would like to do is have a hearing, a Senate hearing, House of Representatives hearing in front of the Ag Committee, and let a few of us producers explain just what's really going on and with the inequities. So there's a few of our groups here that are pushing hard for that. I'm almost daily in contact with our Senator Grassley's office. Representative Feenstra, also a very a great spokesman for, at least for my district in Iowa up here, for the cattlemen. He has manure on his boots. He gets it. Push. We've got to do something, and sooner the better.
All right. To wrap up, we know that we have a cattle on feed report. Now, obviously, we're doing cattle call before those numbers came out, but still hard to be doing some comparisons, especially when we looked at what May of last year was like.
Right. Hey, we could take a shot here and take a guess, and then when you play it afterwards.
Okay, go for it.
Kind of my life, right? We're comparing, so you're going to have a great big placement number because we didn't place any last year. You're going to have a huge marketing number because we couldn't get cattle dead last year, right? But looking at the actual numbers, don't forget, we're still affected by drought. The South with a lack of wheat pasture, those cattle moved early. But more than that, the North, cattle that were set up to get turned out in western South Dakota, eastern Montana, and especially western North Dakota, that place is horribly, horribly dry. So those cattle went to a sale barn and got placed. Now, it didn't create any more cattle, but they're going to come on feed sooner than they would have had they gone out, got turned out, and been turned into yearlings instead. So the placement number, I don't know. Really, it almost has to be statistically a little bit bigger. Whether that's especially bearish, I'm not sure that it is. August cattle do look a little curiously out of line to me because they're over $3 higher than June. Seasonally, that's unusual. We haven't had a seasonal year for a couple of years, but that would be a little out of the norm. And I wonder if maybe a placement number might reel that August particularly back down just a little bit. But that's solid day to day, is one of the better weekly closes we've had in quite a while. So maybe we can go home with the weekend with just a little bit of enthusiasm.
Sounds good. And always good to leave on a positive note. Go grill some steaks and enjoy time with the family.
Perfect.
All right, that's been Brad Kooima. And this week's cattle call, just a reminder, commodity futures and options do involve substantial risk of loss. They're not suitable for all investors.